Welcome back for Game 2 of Australian Ultimate Championships here at Runaway Bay on the Gold Coast. We've got Brisbane Fuse matching up against the GWS Blaze on the women's side of the tournament. This is Game 2 of the day. Got a little bit of cloud cover at the moment. Bit of a breeze blowing away from the camera and a little bit towards the right-hand side. And this is promising to be a really good game. I'm Max. I'll be keeping you company throughout today. Feel free to comment in on any of the social medias, the FaceTubes and the U-Books. Let us know what you think of the stream. If you have any questions, we might be able to answer them as well. All right, and we can see Brisbane Fuse here getting onto the line. That's Dom Simpson in the middle. Unfortunately, an injury late in the season has meant that she'll be doing her best from the team for the sideline, unable to finish off the season. And now GWS Blaze take the field. They're obviously a very young team. This is their first year coming to Div 1 Nats, which is super exciting. See what they can do. I think they'll have a few upsets in store for some of the more well-established, well-known teams. So expect to see some serious athleticism from their team. Lots of incredible plays waiting to be made. Fuse went down this morning. They had a tough first game. They were against Ellipsis and went down 15-2, which is obviously a tough way to start the tournament, but Ellipsis are coming in as the #1 seed. Fuse will be keen to right the ship a little bit, get a good result on the board. And there's no better way to start a tournament than by playing high quality opposition. It gets you in that high quality ultimate mindset, running hard, taking good options, attacking the disc, etc. So I expect to see them come out full fire. And GWS Blaze will be starting the game on defense, pulling it down to Fuse. Looks like Holly Reeve with the pull. One of the young, incredible athletes on this GWS team. She recently played for the Australian under-19s women's team, Terra, in Wrocław, Poland last year. And she puts up the pull. Immediately swung to Mueller. We'll be seeing a lot of her as a key handler on this Fuse line. And Blaze have come down in looks like a pommy, a zone look, trying to take advantage of the wind. So far, Fuse, no fear, looking deep. And Reeve able to read that a little bit better. That was Jodie Brown with the deep look there. It looks like Fuse will respond with a zone of their own. Carmen. Reaching for Coot. Near the end zone. Nice dump back to Barnes. Oh, it just bobbles out of the hands of Budib. Can't haul it in. And Mueller will pick up for Fuse. Blaze have got them where they want though here on the downwind sideline. Let's see if the cup can clamp down, take away the options. Mueller uses her height, nice high backhand, not afraid of the wind, and they move it quickly. Brown again, Brown launches a forehand. Ooh, a little too far. And Reeve, Holly Reeve, with a nice block. Fuse very willing so far to look deep early in their offense, take advantage of their strong throws. Also in these blustery conditions, sometimes it's a case of recognizing where you want to be playing the game, and that's always down the other end of the field. Sutton through the middle to Carmen, who turfs it. She's not happy with that one, judging by her reaction. She's obviously got a lot of history playing at higher levels. Veteran representative player in Australia. And there you go. As you can see why she gets a hand on that. But gets reeled in. Mueller now. Looking upfield. And a little bit out in front of Savage. Reeve immediately picks up to Budib. Back to Reeve. Looks for the low release forehand through the cup, goes over the head of the intended receiver, and Mueller picks up the scraps. Mueller also a teammate of Reeves on that Terra Under-19s team last year in Wrocław, Poland. And both have made the transition into women's ultimate very well, playing key roles on their respective teams, which is great to see the youth program nurturing some talent. Budib picks up to Reeve. Finds Carmen. Back to Carmen. Oh, looking for the inside forehand to Reeve. It gets touched, and Reeve's still almost able to hold on to it, but disc goes to ground. Mueller will pick up. She's got streaking deep. Rebecca Ziegman not quite able to track that down. Mueller with a nice backhand, but the wind going a little bit left to right at the moment and maybe just pushed it out too far, further than she expected. And Mel Budib will pick up the frisbee. Budib walks up to the line, ready to play some upwind offense. Swings it around to Reeve. Out in front of Sutton, and it's out the sideline. Short field turnover. Let's see if Fuse can take advantage of this. Cries of sideline, sideline. Clearly they've got something special planned. Mueller sets up in the dump space. Standard vertical stack in the middle. Doesn't look too fancy from here. Mueller making the first move, charging up line, and Brown Does not miss at that distance. And that's 1-0 to Fuse. And that's an offensive hold. The GWS make it very difficult despite Fuse going downwind. And that's 1-0. Fuse are also a relatively new team at the Australian Ultimate Championship scene. They're an amalgamation of two older teams out of Brisbane, Cherry Bombs and Black Betty, and it's good to see that they've come together and they're able to send a really competitive team to nationals. This is the first look of the Fuse defensive line. Let's see what they can do. The wind is starting to really pick up now, coming left to right and away from the camera. Bit of a diagonal across the field. Looks like Cat Smith set to pull. And Fuse continuing to play zone. Reeve. Hanley with a nice over the top, moving it quickly through the center. Reeve just outside the end zone now. Oh! Finds her intended target. The Fuse zone never really slowing down the GWS offense at that point. Able to slice through it. Hanley finding a beautiful pass to Hannah Monty that really opened up that offensive point. Monty, one of the founders of this team, and a bit of a stalwart of the Ultimate community, showing her reputation is well deserved. And that's one apiece. Interesting to see GWS able to punch that in really quickly after a very long first point. Not being slowed down much by the Fuse zone. We'll see if Fuse can make a few adjustments or whether Blaze continues to cut through it. And Fuse will play offense again. Hand goes up, and pull gets sent downfield by Alicia Hanley. Mueller picks up again. Oh, and sneaks a forehand through the gap to Spalding, just finding that opening. Finds Brown. Oh, crossfield outside in forehand to the break side. It's a nice look, but it can't quite complete. Ziegman not quite able to hold on to it. And Mueller immediately responds and gets the block. And she picks up and looks deep. Straight back to Ziegman, but one too many wheat picks this morning, I think, for breakfast. A little too far. And GWS will pick up again. Hanley set to kick off play. On the sideline. Reeve out in the lane, generating. Gets it under. Mortimer not able to hold on to it there. giving Fuse a short field turnover. Let's see if they can capitalise. Running out of the vertical stack. Slade Sporting open. Goes to the inside break. Over the top. Ziegman not quite able to hold on to it. And Reeve picks up. Floaty forehand. Wynn gets under it. And Mueller. Reeve and Mueller are involved in almost every play for their respective teams. Doing a huge mountain of work as Brown picks up. Brown goes crossfield, fat side. That's a lovely throw. But Reeve makes up the ground, showing off her athleticism to get there. And pushes the disc outside the side of the end zone. D. Downton on the mark. GWS working hard to get off the sideline, finds Hanley in the center. Inside break. Forehand. Reeve elevates. Takes it down. Ooh. And then through the hands of Grove. Not able to hold on to it. And Mueller picks up. Immediate inside out forehand. A lot of break throws on the inside. We'll see if the teams can recognize that. Put a bit more pressure on it. Hanley walking to the disc slowly, allowing her team time to maybe grab a breath as Reeve gets straight back out in the lane to generate. Hanley reaches but doesn't have the juice going into the wind. Mueller, on the other hand, shows she does have the juice. Too much, in fact. Out the back. As I'm sure you can see on stream, we're very lucky to have game advisors at Nationals this year. And they'll be doing their work, providing insight and clarification as to the rules and their perspectives when requested throughout the tournament. So thank you, a big shout out to Rubenberg and his team for the wonderful work they do. Oh, cleaned up by Lingle. GWS looking to move it now. Finds Grove in the center. Graham shooting deep to Lingle, but can't complete. Long points so far. Brown with the disc. Spalding cutting hard, not able to generate anything. Mueller looking again for that inside out forehand. Nicely taken. D. Downton dumps it to Mueller. Mueller reaching, but at a laser beam at hip height the whole way. And Mortimer says thank you. That will be our disc. And as she knocks it to the ground. Hanley to pick up. Perryman in the dump. Choosing to run out of a horizontal now. GWS adjusting their offensive. Look, Reeve reaching deep for Mortimer. Mortimer, nice hands, picks it up. Looks to the end zone. Can't see anything she likes. Grove was there. Back to Hanley. Hanley finds Reeve underneath. They're on the doorstep now. Reeve looking quickly. Mortimer with the goal. And that's a break. First break of the game. 2-1 to GWS Blaze. Let's see how Fuse respond. GWS clearly starting this game off fired up. This morning they played Rogue Rage, one of the really well-established teams, Australian Women's Ultimate, and they were down 12-5 before going on an incredible 8-point run to win the game 13-12. So GWS clearly showing their caliber, and they haven't slowed down an inch after that first game. They've come out here firing. Despite the windy conditions, they're showing that they can get it done, and they can generate a lot of blocks. The question will be whether they can continue this pressure and whether they can tidy up their offense, maybe throw a little bit less away as well. GWS on defense. Let's see what Fuse can do. Looks like we've got the Fuse D-line out here. Smith with the disc. GWS playing the zone that we're seeing both teams play a lot of. Oh, tries to get a low one through the cup, but a little bit too low. A worm burner, and it goes into the ground. Sutton picks up, swings it across the field to Barnes. And Poop not able to find a target. Cat Smith picks up. Oh, and turfs it. Fuse just maybe not valuing the disc quite enough. They've had a couple of careless throwaways at this point. And Fuse now reverts into a match defense. Looking deep. And that's a goal. Beautiful throw by Sutton in this win. That's not an easy throw. It's a little bit downwind, and that's difficult to get the touch on. Get it to hold in space there. But she does it. And that's 3-1. GWS Blaze stamping their authority on this game. So we see Mitch Sutton out there coaching the GWS Blaze team, providing some wisdom, some pearls of wisdom. Mitch himself, having played representative ultimate for Australia, knows a thing or two. And clearly he's got a great team this year. As the wind really starts to pick up now. We've seen both teams able to throw downwind, throwing a lot of deep shots downwind. Neither team had a lot of success going back into the wind. We'll see how GWS go this point. Playing D, whether they can get a break into the wind or Fuse can hold their offense going downwind. Looks like perhaps that Fuse don't have strict O and D lines, but rather have two lines that they're alternating to keep legs fresh. We haven't seen them mix them up too much yet. Though interestingly, Brown not on for this offensive point, one of the stronger throwers on the Fuse line. And Reeves sends the pull downfield. Yap to Craig. Apologies to Spalding. And Monty on the mark. Uncontested strip by the look of it. Counts it back in and we're playing. Spalding. Looks at a dump, doesn't like it, goes the high release backhand across the field. It's not an easy throw, especially in this wind. The wind's just going to push it down and it's not going to sit at all. And GWS pick it up. And Savage on the mark. Monty coming under in that distinctive fluoro hat of hers. Boudib in the dump space now. Monty streaks to the end zone. But that throw goes to Betty Tan. And it looks like there may have been a call coming back. Looks like a pick call. Thank you to the game advisors for showing off your guns. Makes it easy for us to know what's going on out there. And a bit of discussion, and they decided maybe it didn't affect. The goal will stand. That's great spirit. And GWS going on a bit of a roll here, starting to take it away a little bit. We had some long points at the start, both teams fighting really hard, but now GWS have put 3 on in the last just couple of minutes. And that brings it to 4-1 to GWS. All right, GWS Blaze on defense. Reeves set to pull. As she launches her backhand. Very nice. As it floats in. It's picked up by Yeep. Over the top of the zone to Dodd. Moving it quickly now, looking for McInnes, but just a little bit out in front. The right idea there. Trying to move it quickly before the zone can set, but maybe rushed it just a tad. GWS moving it again. Sutton with the disc. Looks to the inside break. That's a nice throw to Barnes. Barnes goes downfield to Reeve. Reeve's got Carmen. Will she hit it? Yes, she does. Beautiful forehand. Becca Carmen does not drop those. That's a goal. Another quick one from GWS going downfield. Downwind, I should say. Really starting to stamp their authority on the game. And Fuse, call a timeout. Probably a good decision. Try and break the momentum. Break the rhythm. I think Mitch Sutton probably saying to his team, more of the same, more of the same. They're really starting to find their stride, especially going downwind. They look absolutely deadly. They've been able to generate breaks going upwind as well, which is pretty impressive. Fuse, on the other hand, struggling a little bit to find some offensive flow when they have the disc. They've been getting plenty of the disc, but just not always able to convert it into goals. Couple of simple turnovers from execution and skill errors that I'm sure they're not too worried about. They'll just say to themselves, we trust ourselves not to make these again. Sometimes they happen. You just got to keep playing as if they don't. Keep taking your shots. And judging by their timeout, I was going to say dance, but I'm not sure if it's a dance or a warm-up or a spirit game or something. They're just looking to take their minds off the immediate game, off the minutiae, the tactics. Just saying, we have faith in our systems, we have faith in our players. And they can go out there and get the job done. And we're getting back into it now. Team's on the line. See how Fuse respond. They're playing more downwind direction this point. Wind still going away from the camera and a little bit left to right. Though it has been quite blustery and changeable. Hannah Monty with the big outside in pull. The wind really getting a piece of that one, and it goes out the sideline before halfway. A few chuckles there from their defensive line. And Fuse, let's see if they can take advantage of this short pull. Jody Brown heading over to pick it up and get things started. Mueller's setting up in the dump with Spalding at the front of the stack, making the first move. Looks under, goes deep, instead looks back to Mueller. Mueller gets the swing. It's big, lots of float. Able to be reeled in. Taylor back to Brown. Taylor makes a move again, but not there. Spalding, no. Brown, back to Mueller. Looks for the inside break. Budib does a good job of stopping it. Eventually Mueller trying to huck over the stack. Always a dangerous option, and Hannah Monty heads up play, able to get it. GWS immediately looking deep. Davis not quite able to get it out in front of Monty. And they don't complete. Brown picking up. Mueller generating the first movement. Great hands and a great bid from Budib. Mueller looks deep. Bit of a laser beam. Didn't have enough float on that one. She didn't look happy with that. But it's gained them some territory. And Handley will pick up. Let's see what she can do. GWS playing out of a horizontal looking stack with Monty and Carmen in the middle. Two veteran stellar players. And it looks like we may have a foul call on that throw. Davis not happy with the attention she's getting from Brown, and it looks like we're having a bit of a chat. And it's uncontested. Thank you, observers. Coming back in on zero. Budib looking deep. Over the head of Carmen. Not quite able to be cleaned up by Poop. But Hannah Monty giving us the back double bicep pick symbol. And now they're having a good old chat. Budib will get it back. Mueller on the mark. These two have been matched up all game. It's a good battle. Both not afraid to send it deep. And as we saw before, not afraid to put their bodies on the line. Budib making a great upline bid to put defensive pressure on Mueller. But she overshoots the mark there. Spalding immediately takes the interception and shoots one quickly to the end zone. And that's a very nice goal. Fuse. Stop the bleeding. 2-5. And the lines look set to go. Kat Smith ready to pull. Launches. And the big backhand. Looks like it'll be picked up by Handley. She finds Sutton underneath. To the 35 shirt of Tan. Moving it nicely up this sideline now to Barnes. Back to Handley. Fuse have gone to a backhand force playing match this point. Perryman over the top to Tan. Out in front. Reaching for Sutton. That's always a difficult throw, especially in the direction of the wind's blowing. It's just very difficult to get touch on those throws. We saw there it kind of dived a little bit into the turf. And we've got a pick. Looks like it may have been Perryman. And the disc will be back in now. Smith. Big swing, backhand. Gets it to the high side. That's where you want to be. And the dump throw from Dodd, just not quite where Smith wanted it. Goes to ground, gives GWS Blaze another short field to take advantage of. Handley with the disc, looking break side, fakes the inside, goes the around to the wide open Amy Barnes, but she's not able to haul it in. It's a lovely throw, breaking the mark. And Fuse get a second chance. Kat Smith will bring it in. Smith reaching deep. That is a beautiful backhand throw. Oh, it looks like Crystal Rowe not able to haul it in. May have just got a finger on it. GWS setting up in a hurrow. Moving it quickly. Down this backhand side. Shooting deep to Tan. She reels it in nicely. Everyone runs through. Barnes gets it. Just out in front of Sutton. Not able to haul it in. Just beautiful movement up to that point. Maybe forced it a little bit at the end zone there. Bit of that white line fever. Taylor faking deep. Smith. That's a great one-handed grab. And now launches to a wide open receiver. But it fades in the wind and she's not quite able to read it. And Handley picking up as McInnes will set the mark. Big backhand force, trying to make GWS play down this downwind sideline. So far it hasn't slowed them down at all as they go shoot again to Betty Tan. But Melissa Dodd able to use her height advantage there. She's got a couple of inches on Tan. Maybe more than a couple. And able to get the block. And Barnes able to get the quick run through D. Heads up play. And she leaves her player and gets the block. Sutton looking up line. Hits Mortimer. No worries. GWS's persistence pays off. And that's 6-2. GWS obviously happy with the position they're in. But often the challenges for teams that get out to an early lead to continue that intensity and not let the other team back into the game. We saw in the first time slot today, the Zig Theory team out of Adelaide get a bit of a nice lead, a 7-3 lead over the Chicks of Christchurch. But then they maybe went to sleep just a little bit, took their foot off the pedal, and the Chicks were able to go on a 5-point run and take half. So this will be a test of the mental resilience of GWS, see if they can continue on this roll. And Boudib set to pull. Backhand. And the wind, you can see that really affecting that pull. Looks like Mueller will take it. And GWS just saying we're going to play match. And we're going to beat you with our legs. I like it. Way to ensure the intensity stays high and not let themselves ease off. It can be difficult to bring intensity in zone sometimes because you're not able to generate it physically as you're not always sprinting 100%. Boudib picks up. And the wind gets under that one. We get a bit of a pack grab and it goes to the ground. Mueller picks up and launches that, her favourite forehand. And that is a dime. Hits her target on the chest. Monica Poop. And that's a beautiful look. She's been trying those forehands all day, and that's the first one that's really had a lot of success. A few of them she's been throwing just a bit too flat and fast. And there she adjusted, lofted it a bit more, recognizing that in this wind you can loft it that high and it won't sit up there forever, as the wind will push it down. And it ends up being a perfect throw. Fuse out with the defensive line. Let's see what they can do. They'll be really keen to get a break here. Claw back some of the ground they lost earlier in this game. Cat Smith. Huge pull in this wind. Especially when you consider how much other throwers have been struggling. And that lands just inches inbounds. Immediate swing. Floats a bit. But no worries. Tamara Davis immediately reaching deep. But not able to find a target. And Vivian picks up. Oh, nice hands by Yuli Yeep. But can't complete the next pass. And Mel Budib will pick it up. Oh. Run through block. But it looks like it's going to get called back. Monty maybe not happy with the amount of contact as the defender ran past her. It's back in. Ujib. Oh, bubbles. Hudson bubbles it, but she holds on. Finds Reeve. Reaches. Amanda Hudson. Getting involved. And that was a lovely backhand down that line. I'd love to see Fuse make GWS throw the forehand going in that direction, I think. They've shown absolutely no worries playing down that downwind sideline. They've got some very strong backhand throwers. Hasn't slowed them down an inch. And Fuse themselves have been struggling with the forehand in that same direction. Mueller, while she hit her last time, missed her first few. Opportunity here for GWS to take half. But they'll have to do it the hard way on defense. Fuse signals they're ready. Reeve does the same. Here it comes. Big outside in. Blading. Gets caught by the wind after the bounce. Oh man, the wind really picking up just as that pull went into the air. Let's see how Fuse take advantage of this short field. Mueller. She's the younger sister of Linus Mueller, one of the players on the Mammoth team, showing that Frisbee talent does run in the family. One of the many sibling powerhouses in Australian Ultimate. Mortimer with it now. Struggling to find an option. Ends up shooting deep. Maybe a bit of a high stall desperation hack. And Mueller picks it up. Does she look to respond immediately? She does love a deep throw, but no. Takes the easier option. Back to Mueller. Really no swing on, really looking for it. Good block by Mortimer in the wall of the cup. Mueller not able to find the hole that she was looking for. Ooh. Through the hands of Poop. Not able to hold on. And Spalding! Showing that she can look deep as well, though out the sideline. that crossfield wind really getting underneath the slight inside-out edge, pushing it well out the side. There was a discussion in between this game and the first game about the difficulty of throwing in a wind like this, especially that backhand. Though up to now we haven't seen many troubles. That was one they were talking about, the risk of throwing the inside and the wind getting underneath it and pushing it out the sideline. And now Mortimer picking back up. Reeve offering that the line, can't give her something that she likes. Sutton does a nice job. Looks deep with the forehand, but the wind making it into a bit of a blade and very difficult to catch. Mueller immediately shoots in response, but Mueller has been eating way too many Wheat Bix. Has clearly been hitting the gym, because that's well out the back. Maybe a little bit of a rush of blood there. It's a good option. She had an open player, but just misjudged the amount of power she needed, especially with a bit of downwind behind her. Mortimer again, set to bring it in. Reeve looks up line, can't get it again. Sutton, Carmen cleans up the scraps, as she so often does. Reeve, lovely one-handed grab there. Looking for Poop, finds her. On the end zone edge now, 5 meters out. Poop looking downfield, not a lot there. Mortimer cuts up line. Disc goes high. She gets a hand to it, but can't hold on. And it will be picked up by Mueller. Spalding sets up in the dump space. GWS sticking with this zone. It's caused Fuse a lot of trouble so far. Mo eventually able to find Mueller. Mueller launches again. Reeve underneath it. She had players there, but Reeve just able to get a bit of a better read on it and knock it down. And Sutton. Danielle Sutton picks up. Finds Carmen. Oh no, just out in front of Carmen. Mueller picks it up, immediately shoots deep. This is a good looking shot. And she grabs it, but it may have just been a tad out the back. Sophie Taylor does a great job of making up the distance, covers a lot of ground. Now they're having a bit of discussion, maybe getting the game advisor involved, providing his perspective. And it looks like it's a turnover. Fortunately, just a little bit deep. It's out the back. It's a lovely look, though, from Mueller. I'm sure Fuse will try and replicate that again. Mortimer with the disc. GWS operating out of a Horo. What looked like a bit of a set play, maybe, but not able to find the intended receiver. Mueller immediately picks up and looks for the end zone. Reeve does a great job of reading it, though. Maybe that's a bit of a case of her knowing her ex-teammates' tendencies. Able to predict what she's going to do before she does it. And now Poop with the disc. Reeve clearing up line. Poop looking inside, but a little bit behind Carmen. Can't hit her intended receiver. Mueller picking up, asking her sideline, what do you want me to do? And her sideline tells her, play it calm. She goes to the little over the top forehand to Sophie Taylor, who gets two hands on it but not able to hold it. Looked like a nice option to get past the cup. As Reeve swings to Mortar, immediately around backhand, looking upfield for Sutton, and it floated, and Reeve almost caught it in the end. But the wind really having a big impact on this point. Shauler's getting a few tired legs out there. This has been a long one. Mueller launches the backhand to the fat side of the field. This could be a real contest. Reeve able to get up, elevate over Ziegman. Reeve, not the tallest woman on the field, but showing that it's sometimes not about height. It's about the way where you read it. Use of the body, getting in front, and she did just that. Now Fuse. Short field, looking to Mueller. Jane Moe. It's a little bit too far. It's difficult in this wind to throw that throw with touch where you want it to go. Mortimer will bring it up on the front quarter of the end zone. Wynn gets under it, pack grab, and it's a turnover. Immediately picked up by Spalding, wanting to get it going quickly. Hits Mueller on the fat side, up inside. There we go. Finds Moe in the front of the end zone. Mueller saying, works better when I throw it to you, not the other way around. Though there may be a bit of discussion on if she was in or out. And that's a goal. The hands go up from the goal advisors. Game advisors, sorry. Takes it to 7-4. And that was a 12-minute point, so I'm sure there's a few tired legs coming off. As I'm sure the sidelines itching to get back on, ready to run. GWS now with an opportunity to take half on offense, going downwind. See if they can just punch it in and get the half. We're well over the halfway through the game time-wise, though we did start a little bit late. So we'll see what happens from here, as neither time has yet reached 8. UN set to pull. Ooh, nice backhand. One of the better pulls we've seen all game. Fielded by Budib. Goes to Hanley. Fuse committing to this backhand force. And Monty shows why you don't want to let them have their forehand. Rips one. A little bit too far, but it was a nice looking shot. And Fuse will pick up. As Yuli Yeep walks it up. Finds Dodd. Back to Yeep. To Yuan, who looks deep. Shooting from the hip. Into the wind. It's difficult to get the distance that they wanted. Falls a little short. And GWS will pick up 5 meters up from their end zone line. Handley set to it, get it going again. First cut from the back of the stack by Barnes. Barnes immediately shooting deep to Tan. Nice one-handed take. Beautiful flow. Hits Hudson. Oh, and a great grab by Jones. Under a lot of pressure, but takes half nonetheless. GWS got great flow going down that backhand sideline. Fuse really struggling to put a lot of pressure on the open side, despite really committing hard to that force. It'll be interesting to see if they can find an adjustment. But for now, both teams will huddle it up, have a breather. All right. And we're back for the second half of GWS Blaze against Brisbane Fuse. GWS took half 8-4, coming out really strong out of the gates. And Fuse just haven't had an answer. They just haven't found a way to slow down the GWS offense that's looked really slick. Really slick. Got quite a decent crossfield breeze coming from the camera, away from the camera, heading towards the far sideline and a little bit left to right. It has been gusty, really picking up at times and then dying away again, but right now it's pretty consistent. It's definitely had an impact so far. And Fuse haven't been able to fully capitalise. Cat Smith with the pull. Sutton picks up, looking to move it quickly. As Davis finds Reeves. Reeves doing an absolute mountain of work for GWS this game. As Sutton looks deep for Handley. Handley showing she's not only a handler, but she can also head to the end zone, but Sutton puts it just a little bit far. That throw pretty much going directly downwind. Very difficult to get touch on it. Fuse setting up in a bit of a horizontal here. And GWS really covering in the unders and then having Reeve hang off it deep. Monty on the mark. As Fuse get it to the high side to McInnes. McInnes looking for an option. Gets one. Has Cat Smith. Forehand. To Taylor. Taylor now looking upfield, getting a bit stuck maybe. Gets it off. To Brown. And Brown tries to shoot upwind with that forehand. She's a powerful thrower, but the wind just getting the better of her that time. Handley shoots. Looking for Reeve. Barnes is there. Apologies, Rowe was there for the defense. But Reeve goes up strong. Takes a goal. And that's 9 for GWS. We've got just over 20 minutes left of play. We'll see if Fuse can bring it back. GWS with the pull. Picked up. Oh. And Mo to Spalding. Spalding tries to get through the cup, but it closes up and the gap disappears. GWS now have the disc about 10 metres out. Budib walks up nice and calm. She's got Mortimer in the dump space. Immediate cut from Barnes from the front of stack. Audacious throw from Budib straight to Carmen. Carmen barely moved. And that's 10. Double digits for GWS. We've got a large number of representative experience on show in this game. On both sides really, but especially on the GWS team. A number of the players on this GWS team will be heading over to France later this year to compete at World Beach Championships, which will be very exciting to see. And then a number of the others have played last year at either WJUC or WUGC, showing they can mix it with the best in the world. Now Kat Smith launches, big forehand, but can't quite get there. Hannah Monty, for example, playing on the Firetails 2016. And Beck Carmen playing on the Flying Foxes and has previously played Mondays. Beck Carmen was also a reserve for the 2009 Crocs squad, the World Games team. Speaking of which, Australia recently announced its World Games team for this year's World Games to be held in Wrocław. But first, Kat Smith showing us how it's done. A nice forehand into the front corner of the end zone. And that'll take Fuse to 5. But the Crocs will be heading over to Poland later this year for the World Games. Generally considered to be the highest level of ultimate in the world. It's an interesting format. It's only mixed teams and there's a very limited rostered size, which means selections are incredibly competitive. And if you're not fortunate enough to be in Poland in July to witness them playing at World Games, I'd recommend that you take advantage of 2 test matches that have recently been ratified by WUFTF as the first internationally recognised Ultimate Frisbee test matches. One will be held in Sydney on May the 19th and one will be held in Melbourne on May the 21st. They'll be between the Australian Crocs and the Japanese World Games team, which is not only a great opportunity to see the best that Australia has to offer, but also a really great opportunity to see Japan, a long-standing powerhouse of international ultimate frisbee, who play with a very distinctive style that's not often seen in Australia. It's a great opportunity to see that clash of styles, those different approaches to the same game that we all know and love. So I would recommend getting on board with that. Details on how to get your hands on the tickets are online, so head on over to the Ultimate Australia website for all the details. As Mueller sends up the pull, and Sutton picks it up. Has Tan coming underneath, but chooses to go crossfield, but it's picked up nicely by the Fuse player. Got Yuen now with the disc, looking to take a quick advantage of that miscue by GWS. Mueller now on the doorstep, looking for Yuen. And Yuen takes a nice one-handed grab. And Fuse get 2 in a row. That's 10-6. And my papers just went everywhere, and big shout out to all the lovely sideline people. That just saved me a lot of trouble. So Fuse just punched in 2 quick ones. We'll see if GWS can respond. Fuse saying, we're not giving up yet. We've got more left in the tank. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a test for the GWS resilience to see if they can really close out a game and play right through to the very end. As Handley picks up the disc. Swings to Davis. Also a highly experienced Worlds player. He's played Flying Foxes a number of times. Goes over the top to Poop, to Handley. Handley goes back across the center to Davis. Davis faking, breaks the mark, but can't find Reeve. And Smith will pick up, marked by Monty. This is a great matchup to watch. As Smith throws that backhand, it's got a bit of hang time. Brown's underneath it, but it sails overhead. No joy. Davis to Reeve. Looks up line to Poop, but she gets a hand on it, but can't bring it in. Fuse now have Mueller and Smith on the line. This is the first time all game that the two of them have been on the field together. Probably an indication that Fuse are trying to maybe stack the line a little bit, really push for a result here. They can sense maybe the GWS may have just switched off just a tad. Davis brings back in and immediately shoots deep with the backhand. There are a few people under it, but when you've got Hannah Monty underneath it, it's a pretty safe bet most of the time. And she hauls it in. And that's 11-6 for the GWS Blaze over Brisbane Fuse. Fuse on the line now, pushing hard to get a result here, not ready to roll over yet.
How'd you guys go against Ivan?
Reeve set to pull. Simpson out there giving some pearls of wisdom to the Fuse line. She's played a bunch of representative ultimate at the junior and under 23s level. Very talented player, very experienced. She's a big loss on their line. As Reeve launches. Oh, and it bounces. And Yuen picks up. Through the middle. Lovely piercing shot. Moved quickly through to Spalding, to Yuen. Yuen shoots. She has Ziegman underneath, but Reeve does what she's done all game and get up really strong. She's got a lot of blocks on the hucks of the Fuse team. Combination of a great reader of the frisbee in the air and very quick and athletic. Oh, and Spalding goes horizontal in an effort to get that back. Apologies, Ziegman does. Beautiful bid, but not able to connect, but the pressure may have been enough as Yuen now picks up, goes again. Ziegman getting a lot of attention, and Reeve showing that she's up to the test. She's been peppered with deep shots, and so far she's been up to the task. As Lingle swings back around to Reeve. Trying to find the break to Boudib, but gets the inside forehand to Carmen. Carmen, backhand, it's low and out in front, and it's too far for Barnes. And Mueller will pick up here. Mueller to Yuen. Yuen goes through the center. That's a beautiful shot to Taylor, finding lots of holes. To Downton, back to Taylor, to Yuen, to Mueller, but it's just a little out in front, and she can't get it. Barnes immediately runs deep, and Carmen tries to get it to her, ends up going straight into the breadbasket of Mueller. He'll take that. Spalding shoots crossfield. Was a lovely look. Didn't quite have maybe the shape that she wanted on it. But great vision to see the opening on the fat side of the field there. As Fuse get ready to play some defense again. Handley with the disc. Hits Barnes underneath. Barnes to Reeve. Reeve centers to Graham. Graham goes back to Barnes. Barnes goes round for Carmen, but Mueller takes advantage of the length mismatch on that mark. Gets a great hand block. She's immediately looking for the end zone. She goes the high backhand. And Graham gets there. Maybe a little bit too fixated on throwing the goal in one pass there. Mueller's got a huge arsenal of throws and a lot of power behind them, but has sometimes been maybe a little too eager to throw the goal in one pass. As Reeve gets it to Handley. Handley finds Mortimer. Mortimer to Reeve. Reeve. Oh, beautiful inside out forehand. Looking for Barnes. That's not an easy throw. And she does end up getting two hands on it there, Barnes. But not able to complete the catch. And Mueller will pick it up. She immediately goes high backhand over the top and into the wind, looking for the big swing to change the angle, but that is a very difficult throw. And it doesn't come off. As Hanley picks up. Ooh. Looking for Carmen. Doesn't quite have the shape that she would have wanted on that. And we get the turnover. It's been a long point. And Nguyen now says to Mueller, it's all right, I'll pick up. Nguyen's had a couple of beautiful through the cup shots this point. We'll see if she can find a couple more of those. They've been decisive in getting the offensive moving. Though she's now struggling for options. Ends up having to look deep. And that's possibly one of the first ones where the Fuse player has outpositioned Reeve. Ziegman does a good job there, but in the end not able to haul it in. And Reeve attempts the inside-out forehand. And Sporting blocks it, and it bobbles. But it will go back on what may have been a foul call. It is a foul call, judging by the game advisors, and it looks uncontested. Coming in on 0. Reeve to Barnes. Barnes looks back to Reeve, then back upfield, back to Barnes. Back upfield. Looking all over the place, getting a little flustered. Throws a bit of a bladey forehand on top of the stack. Carmen attempts to jump it in. Ends up having to throw the 3-meter pass to Reeve, though, and happy to do it. 12-6 to GWS. That was another long point as we rapidly approach time cap. See Holly Reeve collapse onto the ground, tired after that one. Davis looks set to pull for GWS. Oh, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's probably the worst pull we're going to see all week. Slipped out of the hand of Tamara Davis and goes maybe a grand total of 12 metres, half of which were out the sideline. So Fuse are going to get a very short field here. Brown brings it in. Nice centering pass. Looking out for Dodd, but just puts it a little far. And GWS will get it back. Perryman with the disc. Swings to Davis. Davis looking for Sutton. A little bit too far out of her reach. And Fuse will get it. Beautiful catch. As it immediately goes back to Yeep. To Brown. Back to Yeep. Ooh, straight into the hands of Grove, unfortunately. Grove looks for Sutton up line. Poop's running deep. Sutton chooses not to throw it. She's a big thrower, but decides to holster it this time. Back to Davis. Davis won't holster it. She's looking for Poop. Hangs up there. Poop's got the height advantage and rips it down. Oh, and then gets a little rushed maybe. And looking for the end zone to Talisha Jones. And turfs it. That was a great sky of Poop. Really climbed the ladder on that one. Brown with a disc. Unleashes a big forehand. And they managed to get there. Amanda Wong in the end zone. Some nice flow there. No player holding it for more than a couple of seconds. And Fuse refusing to give up in the dying stages of this game. 12-7. And that's a timeout. It's a little unclear who called it, though it may have been a tactic by the GWS Blaze to run down the clock a little. Not long left, and they've still got a 5-point buffer. And they'd be happy to preserve that going into any time cap situation. Mueller with the pull. It's a big backhand. Budib takes it on the full. Looking to Hanley, but floats it immediately. And looks like Savage and Hanley took it at the same time. And the offense get it in that situation. A simultaneous catch occurs. And now back to Budib. Fuse going back to the zone. And the swing doesn't quite connect. Kat Smith will pick up. Does she look to shoot quickly? Nice backhand to the break side as it works across the field. Looking back to Brown. Brown jinks one way, jinks the other, gets open, gets the dump. Mueller. Players cutting left and right. Tries to go to Smith. Smith gets a hand to it, bobs it into the air, and then Nguyen comes in and cleans up the scraps behind. Very nicely done. Shows why you should never give up on a disc that's in the air. And then Taylor looks for the inside out backhand break for the goal, but not quite able to complete. GWS will have to work at the full 70 yards. Kat Smith gets the block. Short field for Fuse. This is a big opportunity, and she'll pick it up. Looking for Brown, not happy with what she sees. But she will take that any day. As Rebecca Ziegman gets wide open in the end zone. That's a goal. That's 12-8. We're rapidly approaching time cap now. 2.5 minutes to go. And it's 8-12. Let's see if Fuse can keep this momentum that they've picked up in the last few points to really make this a close one, or if Blaze can steady the ship, close it out strong. Fuse coming down in a zone with Brown on the mark. Handley finds through to Carmen. Lovely shot through the cup. Really breaks open the field there. Hudson doing work at the back as well this point. Perryman back to Hudson. I think I possibly have been calling Perryman Mortimer for most of this game, so apologies. And then Carmen finds Handley in the end zone to make it 13-8. And that's time cap, which means we'll finish this point, add one to the highest score, and play to that. Yep. Which means if GWS score this, it'll be game to 15, and if you score this, it'll be game to 14. So everything to play for. Fuse on offense. GWS on defense. Reeve with the pull. The wind's just eased up at this point, so we'll see what happens. And Mueller will go and retrieve it. In the middle of her end zone, halfway back. GWS setting up in a zone. Fuse. Working it through the hands to Downton. Spalding has a shot. Sophie Taylor calling a foul on Holly Reeve. Having a bit of a discussion about the contact that happened as she went up for that catch. It'll be interesting to see what the resolution is. Looks like an uncontested foul. And it will remain in the possession of Fuse, who immediately looks deep. It's floating. It's out in front. Can she get there? Rebecca Ziegman not able to haul it in. Maybe it was a little too far. May have been out the back. That was a golden opportunity for Fuse. And now GWS with the disc. As they walk it up. Davis finds Reeve in the center. Reeve looking for that inside. Graham back to Davis. Looks round for Reeve. Can't get it off. Has a couple of fakes at it, but doesn't get there. Looking for Tan. Tan clears. Eventually finds Graham on the sideline. And we have a turnover. UN looking to pick it up and move it quickly. Goes immediately to Mueller. Mueller not afraid of shooting, but doesn't. Oh, goes to Taylor, who can't hold on, unfortunately. Davis picks up. An immediate strip call. Doesn't look like it'll be contested on that one. And it'll come back in. Fine Reeve. Reeve looks. Violation call. People hadn't reset fully from the previous strip call. People will walk back. Players must return to where they were at the time. And now we're in. Davis looking downfield. Finds Tan. Davis working hard to get open. Gets there. Graham. Forehand to Reeve. Outside in forehand. Over the top. Monica Poop. Takes it beautifully. 14-8. Game to 15. Game advisor's doing a great job of signalling this is match point. Suspiciously similar to a dab. And this is crunch time for Fuse. GWS. Pretty standard defensive line. Happy to just continue business as usual. They've got Monty, Carmen, Handley, Perryman, Boudib, Barnes out there on Fuse. Pretty standard looking line as well. Monty sets to pull. The backhand going downwind. Nice float on that one. Send it to Kat Smith. GWS Playing the zone. It's brought them much success. Smith bobbles and it's recovered by Yeep. Great athleticism and heads-up play there. Amazing hands. Smith looks to go through the cup. Perryman just got a fingernail on it. And Yeep again cleaning up the scraps. She's done a great job at cleaning up the garbage that's been floating around in this wind. He's got two beautiful ones. Gets it back off Smith with a little pop pass, but then turfs it, unfortunately. And GWS. Here is our opportunity to close out the game. Budib with the disc. Hanley in the dump space, completely open. Looking downfield, not a lot opening up. Goes for the bigger round to Perryman or Barnes, but goes through both sets of hands maybe. Going around, too far and too low in front of the outstretched hand of Melissa Dodd. And Hanley will bring it back in. They'll have to go the full length of the field if they want to win this game and close it out. Hanley, beautiful forehand to Carmen up the line. Carmen has Monty going deep, chooses it, inside out backhand. That is a beautiful throw. And that's the game. Hannah Monty grabs that one from a beautiful throw from Rebecca Carmen. And that's the game. GWS win 15-8 over Brisbane Fuse. What a beautiful way to finish. Carmen showing no hesitation in wind that has troubled a lot of other players, showing her class, showing her veteran skills and decision making. It's a great result for Blaze. They'll be happy with that one. Fuse not quite able to match the depth of the GWS team. Throughout that game, Blaze able to take a bit of a next woman up attitude, always willing to play the next role, make the next cut, and their flow was often the decisive factor. And we'll leave it there. Tune back in for the next one. See ya.